Oh, absolutely. I am a proud Northerner, which is often a controversial view. The thing for me is the founding fathers, Northern Nigeria is, of course, defunct, but the founding fathers of Northern Nigeria had an idea of creating a region that was integrative with various ethnic groups, various religious observances, from Christians to pagans to Muslims, and all sorts of people from Hausa to Fulani to Igala to whatever. And the idea was to, this geographical thing that is so big, let us integrate all of them such that everybody is equal. And in the period running up to the First Republic, this was done. In the period of the First Republic, this was done to a large extent. My grand uncle, Chief Ogbadu, he was a minister in Sadauna's cabinet in Kaduna. So I have grown up with this background of an integrative politics of Northern Nigeria, and this has defined what Northern Nigeria means to me. It has come to mean essentially two things. I believe in kunya, which is a sort of honorable conduct, and then kirki. Kirki as well is also a Hausa word, which these are not words that can really be translated very easily, but kirki is a sense of trustworthiness, a sense of being able to be a man of your word. And if you look at it, across all the cultures of northern Nigeria, you have these two things in one form or the other, under one name or the other. It's Kirki and it's Kunya, a sense of these two. And these go to the heart of what the northern Nigerian identity is for me. Of course, it means it's integrated. Of course, it means you welcome everybody. Of course, it means you want to listen to everybody. These are the ideals that set up northern Nigeria, and these are the ideals I still share. But northern Nigeria, as we knew it, is defunct. What we have now are 19 states within 36 states, and we have a nation. But the same ideals that created the northerner, I believe that those same ideals should be valid for the Nigerian as well. And I hold it that in my interaction with other Nigerians, it's going to be guided by a sense of Kirki and a sense of Kunya. And a sense that, look, we can all work together, we can all share this country. There's enough to go around for everybody's needs. We do away with the greed and we can all live together. I don't want to know people as groups. I don't want to know Igbo people. I don't want to know Yoruba people. I don't want to know Edo people or any other people as groups. But I want to know that my friend who is Igbo, who is Edo, who is this. I want to know him. I want to be friends with him. I want to treat him as a human being and a fellow citizen. Unfortunately, these are the things that have been derogated from over the course of the military dictatorships, and even with the democracy, the politicians are accentuating differences. And the funny thing with differences is differences work when you have groups, when you deny people their individuality and their humanity. So I think that now more than ever is the time to be in my conduct with other people those same ideals that set up northern Nigeria. I think the whole country can benefit from it. I think that the most important thing that we have to do is to do an honest self-assessment. Whether we like it or not, the military dictatorships have not helped matters. The increase in fundamentalism, whether it is the Salafi version from Saudi Arabia or the Pentecostal fundamentalism that also came in the period of the structural adjustment, has created, particularly in northern Nigeria, a huge mass of people who are followers, who are unoriginal people who do not have a single original thought in their brains. Whatever the controversy is, they would just choose which side and join it. But sometimes you have to question the very parameters of controversy to see whether they are valid or not, to see, why is it black or white? What happens to the many, many shades of gray between these issues? And as Northern Nigerians, we find ourselves being either for or against, when the argument can be made that both the for or against are not correct. There is a different minority that is speaking, and that is very, very strong. And often than not, these minorities are the ones that are asking for a blending of black and white. They are arguing for those middle spaces. So Northern Nigeria needs to look itself in the eye and decide certain things. The issue of Almajiranchi, the issue of these Almajiri boys that go all around the place begging, we need to look at it. Come on, for God's sake. There are ways to modernize these things. If you insist that Islamic education is important to your children, you don't have to send them to Sokoto to do it. But we cannot continue to bring up excuses from a society with a different dynamic, bring it up today with no changes whatsoever, and then say, yes, we are conservative. The people who created the dynamic of that period, if you had gone back 100 years and told them, this thing, you cannot change your mind because your fathers did it, they would have laughed at you. So why do we just adopt what was done 50 years ago without a single change, and then we think that is what it means to be conservative? So for me, it's a key issue. The issue of the corruption of our political leadership is also very, very important. The average Northern Nigerian, as I see it, is quite complacent in matters of politics. We do not engage the political process as we should. And this has led to a class of people who are absolutely unrepresentative of our dreams, of our ideals, and yet these are the people who are speaking for us. So the complacency in Northern Nigeria has to end. We need to create new political platforms, we need to create new social platforms, we need to engage with society, and we need to articulate, particularly those of us who consider ourselves to be middle class in one way or the other. We need to be able to articulate between the capitalist mindset and desires of the upper class and the socialist necessities of the lower classes, without which they are going to rebel. And the whole edifice, whether middle class, upper class, whatever class, will burn. So it is only by direct political engagement that we can do this. It is only by a commitment to quality education that we can fight against Boko Haram. It is only by having counter ideas, counter narratives to the narrative of violent extremism, religious extremism, political extremism, ethnic extremism. It is only by deliberately cultivating those counter narratives, those counter ideas, that we would be discharging our true duty as Nigerians.